In the first Halloween episode, Xander is being bullied when Buffy comes up and saves him. And what is Xander's reaction?
Do you know what you just did?
Forget about it.
Oh, I'll forget about it. Maybe 15, 20 years when my rep for being a sissy man finally fades. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot for your help.
What is this dude's problem? First of all, you're like 6 feet tall with an athletic build. You fight for your life every night. Why are you getting bullied? Grow up. Secondly, Buffy doesn't even take offense to this. She's just like, ah, Xander, you're such a boy. Oh well.
I think I just violated the guy code big time.
And then she apologizes to him later.
I'm really sorry about this morning.
Do you mind, Buffy? Trying to repress.
Am I crazy here? She should not be the one apologizing.
In the opening of the episode, Xander, while getting a drink, is approached by Larry, a bully in Season 2, asking if anything is going on between him and Buffy. He admits there is not, and when asked if he has a shot, Xander responds no. Larry then insults her, claiming she has a reputation, and Xander confronts him despite clearly being out of his depth. He is easily overpowered, however he is stopped by Buffy, leading to the reaction. Buffy stepping in places Xander in a no-win social situation. Long ago, if a girl saved a guy in a physical confrontation, it would be a form of emasculation, getting teased for needing a girl to save him. If he took the hit, while humiliated, his masculinity is intact. This is very much a guy thing and can be difficult for the opposite gender and Cosmo to understand. And then again, these days teens have a hard time figuring out if they're a boy or a girl. Regardless of Xander's physical stature, when someone is bullied growing up, the status quo is something not easily overcome. Also, Larry is much bigger than him. This was a potentially transformative moment for him in standing up to his bullies. However, is denied by Buffy rescuing him, instead having to wait until Season 3 Episode 13, The Zeppo, where he is forced to face the bullies and overcome his fears as he did with the clown chasing him in Season 1 Episode 10, Nightmares. There are also potential punishments to consider. If he hit the bully as he would a demon or vampire at night, there might be consequences to face as Larry is popular and important to the school because of his physicality, while Xander is unpopular and initiated the confrontation. Both Buffy and Willow dismiss Xander and Larry's guy interaction as something silly, though while shopping for their Halloween costume, Buffy apologizes for intervening, recognizing it means a lot to him and that is reason enough. This is a neat episode tackling the idea of identity, expectations, what they mean in a traditional sense, and subverting them in a modern context, showing both modes of thinking, their benefits and drawbacks, and highlighting what is ultimately important is overcoming a challenging situation by working together.
Now, the saving grace here is that while Xander is completely insufferable in the high school seasons of the show, after graduation, he doesn't have much to do, because unlike Buffy and Willow, Xander doesn't go to college. And since Season 4 and 5 are the college seasons, Xander doesn't really have much to do. For the life of me, I can't think of anything significant that Xander does in Season 4. He's just around, but he doesn't really do anything or contribute much to the plot.
But don't non-college guys usually populate the non-campus?
Usually. Just thought I'd come around and check on my girls.
Unlike Buffy, Willow and Oz, Xander enters the workforce, working odd jobs till he is hired full-time at a construction company. Despite not having had experience prior, he is able to do good work. Something even he finds surprising as he is used to being rejected by his prior jobs for a variety of reasons, keeping to this profession till the end of the show. His story creates contrast between the characters because it shows him struggle to find work and pay his bills, eventually getting to the point he is stable enough to move out on his own, building his life from the ground up without the benefit of a university degree. Meanwhile, Buffy, Willow and Oz continue with their studies and excel. This emphasizes, while not everyone is adept at education, with hard work there is a path forward to make something of their lives. Choosing construction and performing to a level where he is able to make a good life is impressive considering the many demands placed on the workers, both physical and mental, showing there is nothing to be ashamed of if one is not in university, as long as one is willing to work hard, which is a wonderful message for Xander to embody.
You see, Joss Whedon made an unbreakable law that Willow, Giles, and Xander cannot die in this show. And this is a show where characters do die a lot, but those 3 characters are not allowed to be killed. Giles is always the Merlin character, so he always has something to do. Willow goes through a ton of changes in her college years. She becomes a wizard, she becomes a lesbian. It's never a dull moment with her.
There are often characters in a piece of media writers do not want killed as they are the conduits through which the story is communicated to the audience. Characters can die at any point, but the execution often depends on how well a story is written, requiring a writer to have immense ability and finesse in the craft. Giles is the Merlin of the story, a vault of knowledge and the guiding hand helping raise the teens into responsible and capable adults. Willow starts her journey in magic during Season 2, before college, and there are hints to her sexuality as early as Season 3 Episode 16, Doppelgangland, where Vampire Willow was extremely sexual with the females.
Willow, just remember, a vampire's personality has nothing to do with the person it was.
Well, actually...
Also, she does not become a lesbian. She realizes she is one.
It's a good thing I realized I was gay, otherwise, hey, you, me, and 4 more.
There is a difference. Unless Cosmo is hinting to the idea of behavioral therapy, which was involved in the Cabin in the Woods facility in Season 4 where Spike was microchipped to prevent him from harming people.
Xander just kind of starts dating his little funny demon girlfriend, who's 10 times funnier than he possibly could be. Really, the only benefit to having Xander in the show anymore is that it allows Anya to be in the show. Anya is a demon who's learning how to be human after she got trapped in a human's body.
I mean, I, for one, didn't want to start my day with a slaughter. Which really just goes to show how much I've grown.
Anya is also in the pantheon of my favorite characters, and her only flaw is that she comes stapled to Xander. And it feels like she's only in the story so that Xander has something to do, or someone to do. That's not a joke. I think the only thing they do in Season 4 is have sex a lot.
Cosmo finding Anya funnier is fine. She does have an interesting arc where she starts life from a position slightly better than Xander as she has her own place, while he was moved to his parents' basement. However, having spent over a millennium as a demon, she has to learn how to be human, and Xander is who she attaches herself to because other guys did not pay attention to her, and he is the reason why she is human. The start of their relationship could be seen as unhealthy as they were quite codependent on each other. However, as they spend more time together, they grow beyond this initial dependence into helping support each other in a meaningful way, where their strengths cover their weaknesses and forge a meaningful bond as a couple. Xander is the conduit through which Anya is introduced into the narrative. However, she is able to stand on her own right by having her personality developed and being of immense help to Giles in the magic shop, setting the foundations of her eventually becoming a co-owner in time. Not only that, but having been a demon for so long, she is aware of enemies and rare rituals even Giles is unaware of, helping the team as a result.
You see, remember Seth Green? You know, he dated Willow. Now again, you might not have even known he was in the show. That's because after a while, he leaves Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he isn't killed off like most other characters. He just leaves, because his character runs out of shit to do. It's easy to forget he was ever even on the show. It's really quite simple. His character ran his course, so he was written off. This also happened to Cordelia, and a lot of other characters. Now, why couldn't this happen to Xander? Xander spends a whole season doing fuck all until Buffy's sister Dawn shows up. For reasons I won't get into because it would make the video longer and more confusing, Buffy inexplicably gets a mysterious sister in Season 5. It is very interesting and high concept and weird, and it's one of my favorite aspects of the whole series. But for this video, all we need to know is that Xander takes a distinct older brother role in relation to Dawn.
Considering Oz was in 39 of 144 episodes, it would be surprising if his presence lacked impact. Regardless, it is rare for a character to leave a show from a purely narrative perspective. Often it is related to external issues such as contracts, scheduling conflicts, and the like, and Seth Green was rising in popularity during this time. A character departing without dying is to keep them in reserve to bring back if ever the need arose, both narratively and in terms of the matter. Cordelia died off-screen early in Season 5, and had a better send-off in Season 5, Episode 12, You're Welcome. The circumstances related to Charisma Carpenter leaving depends heavily on who one listens to, and we as viewers will likely never know the truth. The writers often have to adapt to their external conditions and try to find a good enough reason narratively so their absences make sense, particularly if the show runs for multiple years, requiring ever greater commitment from the performers. Story-wise, Xander and Giles not being as involved in Season 4 is by design, because it was used to highlight the strain of maintaining relationships when a group of people all go their different ways. Willow and Buffy going to university, Giles being unemployed due to Sunnydale High exploding and being let go by the Watchers Council, after helping Buffy during the trial in Season 3 Episode 12, Helpless, and Xander going straight into the workforce. The strength of their bonds are tested as they are not able to spend as much time with each other, nor are they able to rely on each other as they were once able to. This build-up of tension is subtle over the course of the season till eventually, the latent feelings explode onto the surface, fighting it out till they realize how far they have been drifting and make an effort to mend their bonds. Dawn enters the show in Season 5 as a mystical object morphed into being Buffy's little sister by a group of priests wanting to hide her from the Season 5 villain, Glory, a god who wants to use her as a key to open a portal back to her own world. To accommodate her existence, everyone has their memories rewritten as if she was present all along. As a result, the bond created between Xander and Dawn is of him being an older brother figure she has a crush on, because unlike the others in the group, he treats her like he would anyone else.
See, around this time, Dawn has another babysitter-type character with Spike. Spike is a character that spends a lot of time endearing himself to us, the audience, and to the other side characters on the show. The main cast has their own reasons for not trusting him, because a few seasons ago, he was kind of evil and he was killing people, but, he's over that now. But a lot of the side characters, like Buffy's mom and Dawn, don't have a reason to hate Spike, and that lets us see a new version of him. When he's protective of Dawn, it is for purely selfless reasons. And his behavior towards her can help us recontextualize what it means to be a vampire in this world, because up to this point, we are shown that vampires cannot be good, no matter what. If you are a vampire, you lose the part of your soul that lets you be a good person. Spike is a being of pure evil who is forbidden from doing anything evil by the plot. So when he chooses to be selfless and protect Dawn, it shows that he has earned the role of her protector.
Chronologically, Spike was introduced in Season 2 as the core villain, alongside his lover Drusilla, after getting hurt in a fire and having his relationship undermined by Angelus. With Buffy's help, he takes Drusilla and drives away from Sunnydale. Spike trying to kill members of the group led to everyone hating him. He returns in Season 4 as a series regular and tries to kill Buffy, however is prevented from doing so because the initiative implanted a chip into his brain, rendering him harmless unless he is fighting demons. This leads him to occasionally helping the team in his own way, initially for profit, though the more time he spent with Buffy, the more infatuated he is by her, spending nights outside her home stalking her, exploiting other demons to spending time with her, and using her relationships with her friends, little sister, and mother to get close to her, his feelings turning into such an obsession he has Warren make a robot replica of Buffy for himself. After Dawn discovers she is a magical object, she has a hard time adjusting, and with the rest of the group knowing of this, all treat her differently, Xander included, negating her crush towards him. However, due to Spike treating her no differently, develops a crush for him, though it does not last because of his overly enthusiastic advances towards Buffy, and finding him unwanted by all around as they cast a spell uninviting him from their home. The show is clear on what vampires are and the conditions needed for them to be good, either having a soul, or a chip in the brains preventing them from harming people. Spike does protect Dawn, and at times it is for selfless reasons, but that does not mean he is wholly good. Despite his attempts at reform, he is still a demon, who, compounding his obsession with Buffy and their physical activities together, when is rejected by Buffy, tries to rape her in Seeing Red. This leaves Buffy a mess, and Spike goes in search of his soul to put the demon to rest. Spike is an incredibly well-developed and complex character, and Cosmo managed to do less than nothing with all the material on offer to work with.
But still, Xander gets to hold that title without ever earning it.
Xander treats everyone like an equal. He doesn't look down on people.
That outfit doesn't make you look like a hooker.
In the case of Xander, when Dawn is introduced, we are simply told that as long as he's known her, he's been seen as her older brother. That's it. We don't get proof. We're just told that, and we just have to accept it. There are a lot of scenes where Xander is allowed to be protective and wise in relation to Dawn. However, it should be noted that Dawn has a huge crush on Xander. Joss, I have a question for you. Why is the 16-year-old actress's character in love with your self-insert?
Xander is so much cuter than anyone. And smarter, too.
Joss, why did you make Xander and her get married and have a baby in the sequel comic? Oh no.
As already explored, there is a plethora of examples of Xander protecting and saving people, and we have already gone through why Xander insulted Cordelia in part 3 of these set of videos. Now getting to the point, he treats her with the same level of respect he treats his friends with, and this leads her to think positively of him. By including the context of her being created by a group of monks at the start of season 5, and having all the main group's memories altered, it is clear why the audience has not seen this relationship, because it was literally made overnight. This is the new dynamic in the core team, and they themselves take a while to come to terms with what Dawn really is. Cosmo himself admits there are many scenes where Xander is protective and wise in relation to Dawn, making his point of there being no proof factually incorrect. It takes a certain level of skill to contradict oneself within the space of a single sentence. A character being a writer's self-insert does not mean it is a one-to-one without any differentiation. Writers in the past were able to be divorced from their characters to tell the story that needs to be told. Ian Malcolm is Michael Crichton's self-insert within Jurassic Park, but that does not mean they are one and the same. There is a difference between the character and the creator. Whedon, for better or for worse, is an actual writer, not one of the many fanfiction writers who have infected mainstream media who cannot tell the difference between a character and themselves. The phrasing of Cosmo's statement about the 16-year-old actress's character is meaningless. I could take the time to argue that Joss Whedon has a cock fetish, because he has the 16-year-old actress's character fall in love with the 39-year-old man's character instead of him, and it will have the same amount of relevance in relation to the standard of writing and portrayal of a character, which is allegedly what Cosmo is doing. Also, no one likes the comics, just watch the shows. Finally, with the unfortunate passing of Michelle Trachtenberg, we will likely never know why these stipulations were placed on set, and so we'll leave things at that.
This is where Xander takes his new role in the group. He can't fight, he isn't smart, he can't do magic, so he gives bad advice sometimes. The show tries to push him as the wise older senpai, but you may have noticed that he hasn't done anything to earn this. The only reason he's not a selfish dick anymore is because he doesn't have anybody to hang out with. Intelligence-wise, he's probably the stupidest person in the show. And we already have the wise mentor figure to offer sagely advice. We don't need two, but Xander isn't allowed to die, and he's not allowed to leave the show, and he needs something to do. But again, his advice is bad.
He cannot fight well, and he is not the smartest, but he is capable of doing things the others are not. Being in construction, he can build and fix things, such as gifting Buffy a new weapons chest. What he has a head start on is real-life experience and working multiple jobs before he even turned 20, giving him a perspective none of the others have, making his point of view on life valuable. He is not selfish because he would take the time to speak to his friends and help, sometimes at a detriment to himself and risking their relationship, wanting his friends to not make a mistake he sees coming a mile away. He was never book smart, but is clever. While Giles has a lot of life experience and knowledge to impart on the group to help raise them into competent adults, Xander is in their own generation, already in the grown-up world, who grew up with them. He is incredibly valuable because he is eager to fight and help at every opportunity, is willing to offer comfort when any one of the team is feeling down, is navigating not only his personal life but his job, and has at multiple instances been willing to sacrifice himself if it meant his friends would be saved. Made more meaningful because he is a normal human, without powers or magic or high intelligence. making him incredibly vulnerable and a representation of the everyman they are protecting in every episode. The team's fear of him continually helping with the fighting is realized in Season 7 Episode 18, Dirty Girls, where he gets his eye crushed by Malcolm Reynolds.